to fix at least 1,000 kilometers of rural roads under the RAM. As I speak today, 18 of such roads have been awarded, and there are different levels of completion. Okay, so we're talking about 18 rural roads, which is essentially from market to farm, from farm to market. That is the definition of that rural road. These are roads that for several years, maybe many government will not even think about them, except through such an arrangement like this that is targeted at fixing roads that actually lead to the farm states, so that farm produce can come to the market. Because one of the bane of agricultural development in this part of the world is the road infrastructure. Our farmers are not lazy. They can cultivate as much as possible. But the problem is, how do they bring it to the market if the roads are bad? Now there's a target arrangement with the RAM to fix 1,000 kilometers. As I speak, 18 different road contract is ongoing. Projects ongoing through RAM. And these are going to the interland, going to the farms. It does not affect the one that government is doing through intercity, through interstate, and the township road that have been done, which are more modern. And one good thing you will notice in the road project under Oladoyin Ayegbusi Jamiu administration is that every road that is being fixed now comes out with electrification.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ àlejò wa, akọ̀wé àgbà fún ètò ìròyìn fún ọlọ́lá gómìnà Bíọ́dún Àbáyọ̀mí Oyèbánjí. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí ìkànnì Adamimogo 107.7 FM nílùú Ìdó Èkìtì ní àyín. Ìbéèrè tèmi ó lọ báyìí akọ̀wé àgbà. Bàbá ń sọ nípa ohun amáyédẹrùn. A rí i pé nínú ìṣèjọba gómìnà Bíọ́dún Àbáyọ̀mí Oyèbánjí, wọ́n ṣe àwọn ọ̀nà afárá olókè. Bákan náà ni wọ́n ń ṣe àwọn ọ̀nà olóbìrípo tó jáde sáàrin ìlú káàkiri tá a lè pè ní bíi ring road. Bàbá wo àwọn kókó gbòógì yìí, àwọn nǹkan míì wo, torí pé èyí ojú sọ dáadáa torí pé ó wà láàrin ìgboro. Tá bá ní ká wo eléyìí, àwọn nǹkan míì wo lẹ tún rò pé gómìnà tún ń ṣe yàtọ̀ sáwọn kókó gbòógì méjì tó yẹ pé àwọn aráàlú gan mọ̀ pé Bíọ́dún Àbáyọ̀mí Oyèbánjí ó ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ yàtọ̀ sí bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Tẹ́ bá mú méjì yẹn kúrò, mo ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, àwọn ọ̀nà tíjọba ti ṣe ó jẹ́ bíi 35 ní ó jẹ́ pé ọ̀nà tó jẹ́ láti ìlú kan sí ìlú kejì.
35.
Yes, ìmí tó jẹ́ pé láàrin ara ìgboro. Tàbá tún wo náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀, torí àwọn oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà lọ láìpẹ́ ọ̀nà ìjọba àpapọ̀ gan tíjọba tún ṣe, tẹ́ bá wo ti Adó Ìwòròkó
ìbéèrè tí ẹ ń bọ̀ abẹ́
tó jẹ́ ti ìjọba àpapọ̀, ìjọba tún ṣe ẹ̀rọ náà. Nípa ti ọ̀rọ̀ wípé ká ṣètò ìjọba, ẹ̀bẹ̀ rí fún ìjọba Bíọ́dún Àbáyọ̀mí Oyèbánjí.
Fọwọ́ méjèèjì gbóṣùbà
fún wọn pé wọ́n mú àgbékalẹ̀ ìjọba ṣíṣe. Tá bá wo ti pé ètò ọrọ̀ ajé títò, ètò wípé kí security kó wà, ìyẹn ni pé kí ààbò ìlú kó wà, àlàáfíà ìjọba. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì sẹ́yìn ni àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ kan gbé àkọjáde kan síta wípé ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ló borí, ló jẹ́ number 1 ní ìpínlẹ̀ tó yẹ pé a kò gbéyàn pa
tí àlàáfíà
ti jọba. Ilé òun ṣe pé mímọ̀ ṣe wà, gbogbo oríṣiríṣi bẹ́yẹn ló ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Tẹ́ bá wo ti ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ìlera náà, ìyẹn náà pé ní ìlera lọ́rọ̀, ìjọba ti ṣe pàǹbà rè níbẹ̀. Bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí, bí ogójì ó lé ní ogójì primary health care center tá à ń pè ní ilé ìlera alábọ́dé tẹlẹ́sẹ̀ kúkú níjọba ti túnṣe sílẹ̀. Ìgbésẹ̀ ni wípé láti wí pé wọ́n tú at least primary health care center kan, at least 1 in every ward. We have 177 wards nípínlẹ̀ Èkìtì. Ìjọba ń gbé ìgbésẹ̀ láti pè, torí àwọn wọ́ọ̀dù míì ní tó méjì, míì ní mẹ́ta, pé ó kéré ju àrírẹ́ rí ìkan a gbọ́dọ̀ fix ẹ̀. Bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, ó ti lé ní 40 tí ìjọba ti ṣe. A ní ilé ìlera bíi 20 ó lé ẹyọ kan.
21.
Ìjọba tó kọjá lọ ó ti ṣe bíi 10. Wọ́n tún ṣe comprehensively. Wọ́n á tún ṣe, wọ́n á kó irinṣẹ́ ìgbàlódé síbẹ̀. Ní ìjọba láàrin ọdún 2 àbọ̀, ìjọba Bíọ́dún Àbáyọ̀mí Oyèbánjí ti fọwọ́ kan 11 tó kù. Bíi 7 wọ́n ti ṣe tán, tó ti fi, kò ní ṣe pé bí wọ́n ṣe tán ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lọ́ máa ra irinṣẹ́. Bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe irinṣẹ́ ti wà ńlẹ̀, bọ́n ṣe ń parí ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ń kó irinṣẹ́ sí. Tẹ́ bá wo ti General Hospital ní Ìjọ, General Hospital ní Ẹ̀fọ̀n Àlàyé, General Hospital ní Òkèmẹ́sì, General Hospital ní Ààyè Èkìtì, General Hospital ní Ìjẹ̀ṣà-Ṣù, ní Ìlúpéjú, ní Ìfàkì. àwọn bí tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ nìyẹn kẹ́ lọ ṣàyẹ̀wò.
ẹ jẹ́ n fi ìbéèrè yìí kún kó tó di pé wọ́n ó pe ẹnì kejì mi wọlé. Láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà yìí.
mi ti parí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn but.
ọ̀rọ̀ sì ń bọ̀ abẹ́ náà. Láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà oríṣiríṣi ọ̀rọ̀ ní ń lọ lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára gbogbo pé tọ̀ ọ̀nà Aramọ̀kọ Ìtàwùrẹ́ dé Adó Èkìtì pé ọ̀nà yìí ó sapá kan jà mọ́. ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ náà ń rárí wí sí pé àbí gómìnà ń tiẹ̀ ń fi ọ̀rọ̀ ìsì òṣèlú pé bóyá àbí tó ṣèlú bá ti kù gẹ́ngẹ́rẹ́ tó wọ́n wàá padà síbẹ̀. àwọn nǹkan tó sọ pé ọ̀nà ìjọba àpapọ̀ mọ́ ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní wọ́n sọ pé àtijọba àpapọ̀ àti ìpínlẹ̀ pé ṣe bínú apẹ̀rẹ̀ kan náà ni wọ́n jọ ń pawó sí pé tí ò bá jẹ́ pé nǹkan kan mí ń bẹ torí pé àwa wá béèrè gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ròyìn pé gómìnà sì ń gbìyànjú ọ̀nà báyìí bẹ́yìn náà tún ṣe wá sọ ẹ̀ ọ̀nà Aramọ̀kọ yìí ẹ rí i pé òun ló lọ látẹ̀kì tó sọ Ọ̀ṣun àtẹ̀kìtì papọ̀ kí ni iṣẹ́ tíjọba Èkìtì ń ṣe nípa ọ̀nà yìí.
ẹ ṣe lóòtú mo fẹ́ fi àsìkò yìí jẹ́ kí àwọn aráàlú mọ̀ ẹ̀yin náà mo inú mi dùn pé ẹ sọ pé ìjọba àpapọ̀ ọ̀nà ìjọba àpapọ̀ ọ̀nà ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ wa
ṣùgbọ́n ṣe máa wípé
ẹ máa
àtijọba
gbọ́
àpapọ̀ àtijọ́
ọ̀nà ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ wa ọ̀nà ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ wa
kálukú ló ń lọ́nà tí
jẹ́ tí bàbá tọmọ kó má làálàá ṣùgbọ́n ní ìjọba Abíọ́dún Àbáyọ̀mí Oyèbánjí wọ́n ti wòye pé kí àlàáfíà kó lè jọba kí ìtẹ̀síwájú kó lè wà fún aráàlú wọ́n gbé ìgbésẹ̀ takuntakun. àwọn ọ̀nà tẹ́ ń sọ yẹn mo ti sọ pé ìjọba ti ṣọ̀nà bíi 35 ní tiwa
tó jẹ́
tìpínlẹ̀ àtúnṣe tàwọn toríko tó ń lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti gbèríko. ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ọ̀nà 6 ló jẹ́ gbòógì tíjọba àpapọ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì. nínú 6 yẹn ọlọ́lá gómìnà ó ti ṣe ti Adó Ìwòròkó Ìfàkì road. owó tán ná sọ́nà yẹn á fẹ́ tó bílíọ̀nù
20 billion.
á fẹ́ tó bẹ́ẹ̀ bàtà wọn máa parí ẹ̀. meanwhile ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti ní ìlànà kan wípé ìpínlẹ̀ kí ìpínlẹ̀ ò gbọ́dọ̀ fọwọ́ kan ọ̀nà wọn. ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ tó bá fọwọ́ kan ọ̀nà wọn kò lè rí ṣíṣì gbà padà. Ọ̀yọ́ ló wà. níbi ọdún 5, 6, 8 sẹ́yìn tíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ bá fọwọ́ kan ọ̀nà ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó bá ṣe tán wọ́n á jọ jókòó pọ̀ wọ́n á ṣàlàyé wọ́n á dáwó yẹn padà fún un.
pé iye báyìí là ná o.
olóòtú ẹ wò nígbà tí mo sọ pé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ti ná bíi 20 bílíọ̀nù sórí ọ̀nà másọsẹ̀ tó lọ sọ́nà Ìfàkì ẹjẹ́ àgbéyẹ̀wò tó yẹ pé ìjọba máa dá owó yẹn padà ìjọba àpapọ̀ ṣe àpò owó yẹn tún ṣe é mú lọ sí ọ̀nà míì ṣùgbọ́n àyè yẹn ò yọ. ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ò dẹ̀ ní àǹfààní láti gbé toll gate sórí ọ̀nà tó jẹ́ ti ìjọba àpapọ̀.
pé níta bá rí ń bẹ̀ ká tún fi ṣe ti bò mí.
kò ṣeé ṣe. bẹ́ẹ̀ sì náà ni mo fẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀ yí pé nínú 6 yẹn ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ti ṣe ẹyọ kan gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìbáṣepọ̀ tó múnádóko tí ọlọ́lá jùlọ gómìnà Abíọ́dún Àbáyọ̀mí tó ní pẹ̀lú ìjọba àpapọ̀. ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti gbé 3 fún kọngílá.
nínú 6 ọ̀hún.
nínú 6 tó kù. òkú 2. ìjọba Èkìtì ti ṣe kan. ìjọba ti gbé 3 ìjẹtàpá ti gbé 3 fún kọngílá òkú 2. so ó yẹ ká gbójúbà fún ìjọba àpapọ̀ náà lórí ọ̀nà Èkìtì. gómìnà dẹ̀ sọ níbì kan wọ́n wà ní àìsàn ìgbà ní ìjẹta wọ́n sọ wípé àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ pàápàá jọ náà ìjàn sí àdàdo sí ìjàn sí àìsàn ìgbà yẹn tó di pé gómìnà ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti gbé fún kọngílá nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀ kọngílá kúrò lórí ọ̀nà. ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ wọ́n wá ń ṣàkitiyan bá àwọn ìjọba àpapọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ báwọn aṣojú wa nígbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àgbà wọ́n bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà kọ̀ǹtrátọ̀ yẹn á padà sórí iṣẹ́. mo fẹ́ di ráyé lójú náà pé ìgbésẹ̀ ń lọ ní ọ̀nà Ìtàwùrẹ́ sí Aramọ̀kọ sí Adó tẹ̀sán kò tí ẹ̀ dádó mọ́ ẹni pa ti ṣe ó ti dé ìdí Adó tó èyìn ló dé pa ti ṣe.
ìgbésẹ̀ ti ń lọ lọ́wọ́ báyìí.
ìgbésẹ̀ ti ń lọ pẹ̀lú gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ tí gómìnà ń ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ Èkìtì tó wà nílé aṣòfin àpapọ̀ wọ́n ti dá wa lójú pé wọ́n á fi sí bọ́jẹ́ẹ̀tì ètò ìṣúná ọdún tó ń bọ̀. ṣẹ̀pọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ìjọba nǹkan tí ìjọba ò bá fowó sí kò ṣeé ná. gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ tíjọba ìlànà tíjọba pẹ̀lú ní ìlànà kẹ́ ẹ tó lè ṣe ọ̀nà ó gbọ́dọ̀ ti wà nínú ètò ìnáwó fún ọdún yẹn. wọ́n ti fi dá wa lójú wípé ọ̀nà yẹn á wà ní ètò ìnáwó ọdún tó ń bọ̀. Mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ fi dá lójú náà gbogbo akitiyan tó yẹ kí ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ṣe, tó yẹ kí ìpínlẹ̀ ṣe láti rí wípé ìjọba àpapọ̀ wọ́n wá ṣiṣẹ́ tó yẹ kán ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀nà níbẹ̀ ni gómìnà ń ṣe. Tẹ́ bá wo ọ̀nà Adó Ìkẹrẹ́ sí Àkúrẹ́, ṣàpèyàn náà ti fẹ́ parí, àtẹ̀sọ́ èyí tó wà ní apá àti Èkìtì ti fẹ́ parí, ló jẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ yẹn yá. Ojú wípé nígbà tí ìjọba àpapọ̀ ń ṣọ̀nà yẹn, àkọsílẹ̀ ni wípé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ló máa san gbogbo àmábínú fáwọn tán bá wọlé wọn. Gómìnà Ọlájùlọ Abíọ́dún Abẹ́òmí ó ti san bíi mílíọ̀nù bíi irínwó.
ní ètò túmọ̀ sí pé ìjọba Èkìtì náà ò dáadáa wọn.
Kò dáadáa wọn, ó ti san bíi mílíọ̀nù bíi irínwó fáwọn tí wọ́n wọlé wọn títí tí jẹ́lé wọn láti fi àyè lẹ̀ fún ọ̀nà kó lè gba Ìkẹrẹ́ dé Adó. So ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ń lọ. Gómìnà ò dáwọ́ dúró, kò dá wọn dá. Bá a ṣe ń bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀, bí ìjọba ṣe ń bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ pé báwo la ṣe ṣe lọ́jọ́ ń fojú àgbà wò, lọ́jọ́ ń fọwọ́ kọwọ́. Gbogbo pé gómìnà lọ sí Àbújá kò lọ jókòó, bí ká lọ sí house committee, kan lọ wá committee on works, kan lọ bá minister of works náà máa lọ ń ṣe ń bẹ̀. Òun dá fi di pé ìgbésẹ̀ ti wà. Assurance dẹ̀ wà pé láìpẹ́ láìjọ́ gbogbo àwọn kan kéékèèké tó ń dí àwọn kan gíla yẹn lọ́wọ́ tó ń fi ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ láníyànjú tó ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́. Bọ̀ pàápàá jù lọ ìjọba náà ò jókòó kó fọwọ́ lérán kó máa wò káwọn aráàlú máa pariwo. Ló fi di wípé wọ́n tún wá lọ ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ àwọn ọ̀nà kọ̀ọ̀kan wà. Ṣé bí n tó ṣe pàtàkì ni pé ká kúrò níbi tá à ń lọ ká dẹ̀ débi tá à ń lọ láyọ̀ àtàlàáfíà. Ìjọba ṣe ètò náà pé ókè nígbà tó yẹ pé ẹ ti gbé àwọn ọ̀nà yìí fáwọn kọ̀ǹgílá, èyí tán ti gbé fún kọ̀ǹgílá àti ní assurance pé wọ́n máa gbé fún títí láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà. Ẹ jẹ́ káwa náà ká ṣe àwọn ètò. Mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ fi sọ fáwọn aráàlú pàápàá jùlọ àwọn tó ń fẹ́ máa sọ ọ̀rọ̀ títí tó fẹ́ máa sọ di ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú, ó yẹ kán ní understand kan wípé tí ìjọba àpapọ̀ bá ti gbéṣẹ́ fún kọ̀ǹgílá ó ti dọ̀rọ̀ òfin, ìwé ti gorí ẹ̀, Federal Executive Council ti dò lóhùn tẹ̀, ọ̀rọ̀ owó tó máa sọ fún kọ̀ǹgílá ó ti wà ní Ministry of Finance, ó ti wà ní Accountant General's Office. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ò tún lè sọ pé òun tún fẹ́ lọ gbé kọ̀ǹgílá mi dìde lórí ọ̀nà náà. Wọ́n ti gbé fún yàn kan already, òfin ti bá kẹ ẹni yẹn gan ti ní ìwé dání pé òun ni wọ́n gbéṣẹ́ yìí fún. Ẹlòmíì gan ti mú yẹn lọ sí báńkì, ó ti lọ fi gbowó, ó ti fi ṣiṣẹ́ díẹ̀. Ṣe get? So ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ò tún lè láti sọ pé mo tún lọ gbé kọ̀ǹgílá mi dìde àbó ṣeéṣe ó ṣeéṣe. So àwọn kan báyìí tó yẹ kó yé, ó dẹ̀ yé àwọn tó ń fi ṣàmúlò mọ́lá yẹn, ó yé wọn. Wọ́n kàn fẹ́ máa fi wọ́n fẹ́ máa fi confuse àwọn aráàlú ni. Pàápàá jùlọ mi ò expect kéèyàn kan tó sọ pé òun jẹ́ olùdíje báyìí kó máa understand pé ìyàtọ̀ wà láàrin ọ̀nà ìjọba àpapọ̀ àti ìpínlẹ̀.
I just want to follow up on some of the things that the CPS has said, which is quite commendable, honestly. And talking about infrastructure development, I would also like to ask, because many of your critics or many of the critics of this administration believe that the resources coming into the state has increased, and they now quantify the project at hand to the resources. I don't know if they are privy to the resources, but then they now try to place it side by side. So how does the government respond to concern about transparency, accountability, and value for money in its spending?
Thank you very much. I just want to appeal to our people to be wary of armchair analysts and people that also come up with figures that they cannot defend. Okay. Yes, there's no denying the facts, and Governor Biodun Ayegbusi has said it several times. He has publicly continue to commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that the economic policies of the federal government under the leadership of Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu had freed some resources, more resources to the state, and the state is a beneficiary of that. There's no denying the fact. The governor kept saying it, that policy has brought in more money to the state, and to whom much is given, much is expected. And I want to assure you, it is as a result of that excess money that come to the state, more money that come to the that the governor has been able to do a lot more. I've just mentioned to you that not fewer than 35 roads are ongoing. It has never happened in this traffic case. Go and check. This administration has constructed the greatest number of roads infrastructure in Ekiti State. I've told you about 38 roads, intercity, intracity, roads that are going on. And I also mentioned 18 different roads that have been flagged off to RAM. You're talking about almost 50-something roads within the last space of 2.5 years, thereabouts. Okay? And including a ring road, which is the first one, is nearly completion, almost 98% completed, which is going to join the north to the state capital. And phase 2 is going to join the south to the state capital, so that people have alternative routes to plow. One good thing about road infrastructure, even power infrastructure, is that it also brings about employment. It's also a way to ensure to boost the economic development of the states and the spending power of the people. Ask me why. Number one, through the local content policy law of the state government, local contractors are now well patronized. In fact, there's a policy of Mr. Governor that says that anything that an Ekiti man can do, that has the capacity to do, must be, first of all, it must be prioritized, it must be given to them. So if there's a job to be done, if there's a road construction to be fixed, if an Ekiti contractor bid for it, it should be given priority. So a good number of Ekiti contractors are working on our roads.
So what did you say?
Even other contractors that are north, they are also sourcing their materials locally, sourcing their manpower locally. So that's also boosts economic development. And then the roads also to enhance economic activities of the people in line with the shared prosperity agenda of the administration. So the road infrastructure is actually expanding the state, is bringing more prosperity to the people, and is also driving industrialization. More people are now locating their businesses in Ekiti. One, because of the ease of doing business, and because of this infrastructure that the government is putting in place, the road and the power infrastructure that the government is putting in place. So when people talk about the figure, yes, the figure has increased. Also, the various dividends of democracy, development indices of the government has increased. I mentioned earlier on, in answer to your question, in terms of how the government is doing comprehensive rehabilitation and fixing of the general hospital and the primary care center. Also, the teaching hospital benefited from that.
From the increased allocations?
Yes. Now, if you go to the teaching hospital now, you see a new construction, apart from also upgrading their facilities in terms of building, fixing new facilities for them, medical facilities, equipment, new state of the art for them. Also, the IPP has been extended there. So the issue of power failure, when people are doing operation or in the theater, does no longer happen. Now the government is putting up a 80-bed wing for them. It's an amenity wing for them, which is going to boost the capacity of the hospital so that more people can have access to medical care there. Now, apart from the fact that the government is also fixing all the hospital, is the fact that it has been able to provide free medical care to certain categories of people. So, for instance, a child under 5 years old has access to free medical care in any of our primary health care center and the general hospitals. A pregnant woman has access to free delivery, even with delivery parks, in all the primary health care center. And if such a woman is referred to the general hospital, it's also still free. Pensioners are also captured under the Ulirawa program of the administration to ensure that they have free access. They are other citizens who may not have the financial wherewithal, so they have access to free medical care.
The education
also,
sector. I'd like for you to talk on the education
also people
sector.
with sickle cell, who are called sickle cell warriors, suffering sickle cell anemia, they have access. If you go to any primary health care center, they have free treatment. And if for any reason, in terms of capacity, the primary health care center can no longer handle it, if they are such a person referred to the general hospital, it is still free. If the general hospital will refer such a person to the tertiary, which is the teaching hospital, it's going to be free. Government picks the bill. So these are the things that are not there before. These are the new innovation that government is doing to ensure better life for the people. So the investment in infrastructure, in the health infrastructure, is huge. The investment in human capital development is huge. Okay? You also go to agriculture, you also go to education.
Yeah, we'll get to agriculture. I was just hoping that you would talk more on the interventions in the education sector.
If you also go to the education sector, you see government also doing comprehensive renovation of all our schools. First, they started with ensuring a safe environment within the school, making the school very attractive, very conducive for learning and for teaching. So you are not making it conducive for students alone. Government is making it conducive for the teachers also. So teachers are capacity development, capacity training in terms of empowerment for them. Salaries paid when as and when due. I must say something that probably members of the public do not know yet. That under Biodun Abayomi Ibanji, there are certain categories of teachers who hitherto were not benefiting from car loan and housing loan. Those are primary school teachers. The governor reviewed the situation. Now they benefit from car loans, they benefit from housing loan. Also, hitherto, primary school teachers who are graduates cannot go beyond certain level.
In the civil service.
In their salary structure. The governor has reviewed it. Now, if you're a graduate and you're a primary school teacher, you can advance to level 16 like other people do. So these are the things that calls for more spending. Okay?
All right.
In breeding it. Many schools have been fixed. Many schools have been rebuilt. And now government is introducing smart school into some of the schools. And we already have pilot schools who are doing that. Okay? Equipment, teachers' capacity have been enhanced. Payment of external examinations on behalf of the student for NECO, for WAEC, or even for JAMB. And even providing second chance for people who probably must have failed the examination, the various extramural centers that governments have in different locations that have been fixed also. More schools are being brought into the smart school system to have modern day equipment to teach. Our, technical colleges are now giving some facelifts such that they are no longer schools for never-do-wells. They are now schools of choice. Now, okay, I want to embrace vocational training. There's no point be doing JAM. Let me go to technical college. So it's a school of choice now because the equipment are there. So that whatever vocational training you have chosen, the right equipment are there, the right teachers are there, instructors are there, and the environment is conducive for learning. And these are some of the investment in the education sector.
Ẹ ṣé àlejò wa, Ọlọ́run ó wà pẹ̀lú yín. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Ìbéèrè tèmi ò lọ báyìí. Ọ̀rọ̀ nípa pápákọ̀ òfurufú ní Èkìtì. Tabaníkà sí lé ní èjì báyìí dòyìn. Ó ti tó bí ọdún bíi 3 báyìí. Àbí kó lé sẹ́pẹ́sẹ́pẹ́ tíjọba àná tí wọ́n ti fi lọ́lẹ̀. Àmọ́ àwọn aráàlú ní àwọn ò gbọ́ nǹkan kan nípa ẹ̀ mọ́ pé nígbà tó ṣe pé kinní náà bí wọ́n bá gbé kalẹ̀ sí Èkìtì yóò tún lékún ọrọ̀ ajé Èkìtì pé pẹ̀lú owó tí wọ́n ti wá ná sí látẹ̀yìnwá àfojúsùn ìjọba tòní yìí àti èrò táràlú náà fi gbà pé ṣé wọn ò sì ní rò pé kinní yóò mú yẹ́ẹ̀sì báyìí.
Olóòtú ó yà mí lẹ́nu pé ẹ béèrè yẹn wípé gbọ́n kankan nípa airport ó yà mí lẹ́nu.
n táwọn aráàlú sọ ni.
Nítorí ọmọ Ìkókó gan mọ̀ pé airport ti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ lọ́wọ́. Yes, lóòótọ́ ni pé ìjọba tó kọjá lọ bàtọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn débi kan tó ní àmì wọn commission ẹ̀.
mo rò pé lóyún ló jẹ́ káwọn yóò béèrè ìbéèrè tí wọ́n béèrè.
Nígbà tó ń ṣe débi tó ní àmì
tó lápẹ̀rẹ̀
wọn commission ẹ̀ lẹ́nu pé ní first phase. Ìgbà tí ìjọba Bíọ́dún Àbáyọ̀mí Ìbánjí dé wọ́n wo ibi tí iṣẹ́ dé wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò ẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gbé àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ tó kù wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe. Bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ as at December last year iṣẹ́ ti parí ní airport. As at December last year àwọn tó ń ṣètò ọ̀tọ̀ ìrìnjò òfurufú NCCA àti Ministry of Aviation wọ́n ti fún wa ní ìwé láti wí pé kí bàálù kó máa fò kó máa balẹ̀ sí pápá òfurufú Èkìtì ṣùgbọ́n kò ń ṣe àwọn bàálù tó ti lè máa gbérò púpọ̀ ìyẹn ni wípé bàálù tó yẹ pé mo lówó mo ní private jet mo lè land bóyá pé àdẹ̀pọ̀ náà ta lọ charter plane ó lè land síbẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ ń gbéra ìyẹn ni wípé ó ti ṣe é lò
fún aráàlú
ṣùgbọ́n that's what they call the commercial flight ìyẹn ni wípé bóyá airpeace fẹ́ wá bẹ̀ ó bá ní ọ́fíìsì after oṣù 6 ìyẹn ni wọ́n pè ní pé ìyẹn ni pé license tán fún wa gbẹ̀yìn wọ́n pè non scheduled flight fóṣù 6 ni lẹ́yìn oṣù 6 ni àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ yẹn wọ́n tún wá ṣe àgbérò lórí ẹ̀ láti pé ǹjẹ́ lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ commercial flight. So as far as the airport is concerned it's ready it's completed planes have landed and I've seen a particular day tí bàálù bíi 4 ló wà ńbẹ̀ ìgbà tí
4-year convocation
tí 4-year convocation ìgbà tí kẹrẹ ṣe convocation ìgbà tí ẹtù ṣe convocation.
yóò tó túmọ̀ sí pé iṣẹ́ ti ń lọ.
àwọn èèyàn ti ń lò ó ìfarajọ inú lójú pé àwọn èèyàn ti ń gba sálárì mẹ́ẹ̀ because ìjọba náà gbé ìgbésẹ̀ kíbẹ̀ kó lè gbé pẹ́ẹ́lí kó lè jẹ́ ibùsọ̀ bàálù tí ayé táyà tó ṣe fi mú yangàn.
tí ó jalè jáko.
wọ́n ti gba àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ àwọn tó ní ìgbìmọ̀ nípa ètò iléeṣẹ́ bàálù ṣíṣe wọ́n ti gbà wọ́n síbẹ̀ àwọn náà ń ṣètò ẹ̀ ó ti ń pawó wọlé díẹ̀díẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo bàálù torí pé bàálù bá ṣe ń fò síbẹ̀ olóye tí ó ń bọ́ sápò airport ó lẹ́yìn tó ń bọ́ sápò ìjọba ṣùgbọ́n commercial yẹn òní bàbá bá rí ẹ̀ láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà tàbá ti gba ìwé pélébé yẹn ló kù.
iṣẹ́ wa gbéra sọ lákọ̀tún.
àjọ yín lójú náà wípé airport yẹn ti ń gbàyàn síṣẹ́.
bá ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí.
because bàálù ti ń fò síbẹ̀ bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí àwọn kan ló máa yẹ bàálù wò àwọn kan ló máa yẹ àwọn tó wọlé wò àwọn kan ló máa yẹ báàgì wò àwọn kan ló máa ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ àwọn kan ló máa já tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì gbogbo ẹ̀ ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ díẹ̀díẹ̀ but commercial license yẹn ló máa jẹ́ kó wá gbòòrò but iléeṣẹ́ ti ready.
All right, CBS, I'd like for you to please talk on agriculture and the interventions of the government in terms of agricultural development, which is one of the mantras of this administration. Recently, there was the launch of Ilueye Aggregation Hub and Onje Ekiti retail outlet. And the simple question here is, apart from the implementation, how it is being handled, and level of engagement, especially with stakeholders involved, the farmers and the traders, the big question I'd like to ask is how this is replicated in other local government areas, because we only saw that in Ado-Ekiti.
Okay, thank you very much. The area of agricultural development, like I said earlier on, government is using for multiple purposes. One, to drive development. Two, to drive employment and empowerment for youth. Three, it's also helping us in the area of security. Ask me why. So government has ensured, number one, bringing more people to agriculture, making it more attractive, and giving them support. So we have farmers, companies who are in agribusiness. Government encourage them to come around, give them land, give them all the necessary support, and they are investing in millions. We have the PMS farm, we have the Agbeyewe farm, so many of them, the YSG farm, all of them coming to town. Government support them with land. And the government has a policy of land clearing. The land clearing policy is top-notch in the Ekiti State. What does that entail? It entails that if you just show interest, whether as an individual, whether as a group or a cooperative or a major player in the industry, if you just show interest in farming, we want to encourage you by clearing the land for you.
So that would motivate you to
It's a great motivation. I mean, that's the biggest challenge anybody could face. So you can afford to go to any forest. Once it's allocated to you, government is ready to clear it for you. As I speak to you, government has cleared over close to 5,000 hectares of land for people, individuals, groups, communities. So even you as presenter, if 2, 3, or 4 of you say you want to go into farming, you apply to the Ministry of Agri, they will clear the land for you. Apart from that, government now encourage some youth under the Bring About the Unity to Agriculture scheme. When they started this program, it was 1,000. The pioneer set was 1,000. Across 6 clusters. They were divided into 6 clusters. So when you ask whether you only see some of these things in the state capital, it's a lie. 6 clusters. That was last year. And they brought them in, empowered them, did land clearing for them. There's also a policy of tractorization, wherein after they've cleared the land for you, you have started planting and you want some measure of tractors to come and work on your side. Government also brought in partnership. It's in partnership with some companies. They brought in their tractors, but government also pay part of the money for you, which means it's subsidized for the farmers. So they help you to tractorize your farm. Government supported them with seedlings, high-yielding seedlings. So whatever you want to plant, is it maize, is it vegetable, is it cassava, is it yam, they give you the right seedling. Because the success of your yield is determined by the quality of your seedling. So you go give them seedling. They also provide agri extension services to them through the Ministry of Agri. Okay? So because some of them perhaps have never ventured into farming before. So the various advice that you need, they provide for you, extension service, they give you right seedling, they clear the land for you. And then you work. And they provide security. Now if you go to some of these farms clusters, you notice enhance security around the various places. Because government does not want you to plant your corn and then some people come around, either cut away your things or something like that. So when you have all those things, last year, 1,000, this year about 5,000 youth have subscribed to that program. Government has had to expand it. And in expanding it now, we now have almost 15 clusters across the local government. And government is also doing something, going back to the era of Jamiu Abolore, agric extension, agric settlement. The Adamimogo is building dormitories in all these clusters and all these farm settlements, so that the young man there who goes to the farm can decide to stay around for 2, 3, 4, 5 days on the farm before coming to home. And he has the facilities there. Have you seen some of the farms recently? They have facilities, good water, electricity supply, even DSTV, so I can watch your football game.
I heard about that. I saw the governor say that.
He was there personally with them, and he saw it. So that is enhancing it. Now, the biggest chunk there is the fact that even after you have planted, government is ready to be number one off-taker for you. Number one, the greatest fear any farmer can have is that where is the market for this produce? So the government has helped you to clear the land. Maybe you have done 5 hectares of maize. Where is the market? 2 markets now is open. Number one, the big players, they are the off-takers. Because those big players have come around, they have their farms, they also have processing plants. Their farms alone, what they get from their farm alone cannot feed their processing plants. They need to off-take and buy from the small farmers. The government, through that trading company you mentioned, aggregation, buys from them now. Last year, Governor Abolore presented a check over 200 million to those youth whose produce were bought by the government. So government buys from you during your harvest and then store it, because storage is also a major challenge for farmers. So they don't know where to even store your tomato, know where to store your corn. Okay, so government buys from you. 2 reasons. So that you have your money back and then you can apply your money to your business, you make your profit and things like that.
And there is surplus.
And then there is food surplus. Because there was what we can call famine and shortage of food last year. So there is food surplus. And that's what get back to the Onje Ekiti. Wherein, when government has bought from you and farmers are smiling to banks like Ekiti, government now store it. Government is now selling it to the residents at a cheaper rate. So it's a win-win situation. So the big players also off-take from them and use it to feed their processing plants. And that's driving industrialization. That is also driving employment in those areas. And because more lands are being cultivated in Ekiti now, the forest where kidnappers kill people, where bandits hide, they no longer hide out. They have become farmlands. They are cleared. Land clearing has cleared everybody. So you don't have instances of kidnapping. It has reduced to the barest minimum in Ekiti State.
Because of our time, we have a few more minutes on the show. But my colleague here has a few questions.
Ìbéèrè mi lọ báyìí, ẹ rí i pé bí ọ̀sẹ̀ bíi mélòó sẹ́yìn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ni wọ́n kóra wọn jọ ní Adó Èkìtì, kódà rí àwọn tí ì ṣe ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC tí wọ́n kóra wọn jọ pé tọ́ Abíọ́dún Àbáyọ̀mí Oyèbánjí àti ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu pé kí wọ́n ó tún máa tẹ̀ wájú nínú ìṣèjọba. Ìbéèrè tí mi wá fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín láàárọ̀ yìí ni pé ìsowọ́papọ̀ nú ẹgbẹ́ ló bí èyí ni àbí iṣẹ́ ìdàgbàsókè gómìnà ló fi rí bẹ́ẹ̀.
Iṣẹ́ ìdàgbàsókè gómìnà, àlàáfíà, ìlera àti ìtẹ̀síwájú tí àwọn ará ìlú rí, tí àwọn ọ̀tọ̀kùlú ìlú náà rí, táwọn olórí ìlú náà rí, wọn ló jẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀.
Àwọn tí ìwà sí ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ti ń
wọ́n ríṣẹ́ ìtẹ̀síwájú.
Èèyàn lè wá láti ilé ibòmíràn kó wá.
Ìtẹ̀síwájú ni development has no colour. Development knows no political platform.
Kò mọ family.
Kò sẹ́ni tí nǹkan rere òwò, kò sẹ́ni tí ó wù pé kó dé. Gbogbo àwọn olórí tẹ̀ ń sọ yẹn náà wọ́n ń wá sẹ́kìtì. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé Èkìtì ṣe rí bí ọdún 11, 13 sẹ́yìn. Tó bá ń bọ̀ lẹ́kìtì wàá máa wẹ̀ yẹn ni. Torí bí wàhálà ò bá sí lọ́nà, wàhálà wà nílùú. Tí wàhálà ò bá sí ní gbèríko, wàhálà wà lólú ìlú. fàwọn máa ń pè kìtì ní ojúmọ́ kan wàhálà mẹ́wàá ń gbà yẹn ṣùgbọ́n nísìnyí kò sí wàhálà kò sí hílà hílò
kò sí ọmọ yẹrí òkò ń bọ̀ mọ́
kò sí yẹrí òkú ń bọ̀ mọ́ àlàáfíà wà so àwọn gan ń wáblé láti wá máa ṣe sí mi wọ́n dẹ̀ rí i pé a ní gómìnà lólórí àyè ọmọlúwàbí tó ń ṣe ètò ìtẹ̀síwájú tó ń ṣe ètò ìdàgbàsókè tó kárí ayé tó ń bónílé ṣe tó ń bálejò ṣe tó ń bọ́mọdé ṣe tó ń bá àgbà ṣe tálàáfíà jọba tí ìtẹ̀síwájú ṣẹlẹ̀ kò sí olórí yẹn yálà ó wà nínú ẹgbẹ́ yẹn o kò sí nínú ẹgbẹ́ yẹn aláwọn olórí tí ò tẹ̀sílẹ́gbẹ́ kankan àdẹ̀wọ̀n àwọn aláwọn olórí tó wà ní ẹgbẹ́ àpapá òsì pọ̀ kò sẹ́ lórí tí nǹkan rere ò wù tó ń dẹ̀ rí gómìnà tó ń ṣe rere òní gbogbo wọn ṣe sọ pé ọmọ gómìnà tó ń ṣe rere yìí ẹ jẹ́ àfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ agbárùkù tí wọ́n ní yìnyín kẹ́ni ó ṣèmí sí tàbá gbárùkù tí tó wọlé ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì a tún ṣe jù bẹ́ẹ̀ a tún continue nípínlẹ̀ Èkìtì.
All right, CPS, there is something trending since a few days now that I'd love for you to respond to or probably get the response of the government to. I'd like for you to listen to this audio.
Members of the public that they are trying to witch hunt me. Everything you have read on the social media is a blatant lie. What I'm after as an Ekiti man is for the progress and development of Ekiti. I know Ekiti happens to be one of the dirtiest state capital in the whole federation without notable development, which is very, very bad. And the governor is not making himself available to us to advise him. We were the people that voted him at the first instance. He has made his younger brother to be the de facto governor. And there's no way I can subject myself under his brother because his brother is not the person we voted for. I don't have an office. And there's no property in my care. I don't sign checks. I don't disburse money. No money was put into the agency.
CPS, that's the former chairman of the Microcredit and Enterprise Development, Akogun Abayomi Olumide, making those allegations there. What's the government response?
Okay, I think the man has been relieved of his duty. So you can't spank a child and say he or she should not cry. You get what I'm saying? This is somebody who has been relieved of his duty. Let me use the right word, who has been fired for gross incompetence and gross misconduct. So I'm not surprised that he's coming out to say this. He can say any wild allegation, but I can tell you these allegations are baseless. You're talking about Vado Ekiti. Everybody knows the effort the government has put in place through the state Ministry of Environment and through the environmental agency, which has brought in Dino beans. I'm not sure you have seen Dino beans here in some time 5-6 years ago. We now have Dino beans across strategic locations, even in Ado Ekiti. One, so that people can have somewhere to dump their refuse. You see a various enlightenment program telling people not to drop their refugees along the drains or on the express road, but to dump in the Dino beans hourly. You see trucks that were purchased by the state government coming in to pick those Dino beans, dispose them properly, and return them there. That's a massive effort that's never happened. This cost government a lot. There has been a conscious effort to ensure sanitation, to ensure welfare and well-being of the people in Ekiti State. And so if somebody has been fired and is now raising that as an allegation, it is baseless. In Ekiti State, conscious effort is made to ensure safety of life, to ensure quality of life, to ensure the welfare and the well-being of the people. And I just tell you, through environmental factor is just one of them. Ekiti State, maybe I have not said that. The reason why we have not had flood, despite different proposition and projection by NIMET, is the fact the government has gone ahead much earlier in the year to clear all the drains. All our canals, they brought in massive equipment to clear the canals, to clear the drains.
CPS.
And that's why we have not had flood. It's not as if rain has not fallen in Ekiti State. Rain has been falling, but there has been no flood because you have a government that's proactive and has cleared the drains.
Let's just open the studio line for a few questions.
Number tell you pè wá sí 07047007701. Ona ni number tí ẹ lè pè wá sí tàbí 07072766278. Number méjì náà ni ẹ lè fi bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ láàárọ̀ yìí 07072766278 tàbí 07047007701.
And one thing I would like to add, sir, before I go, is that when you play that audio, the question is that this person has been in government. He never said this. So
Why now?
It's obvious to people that it's because he has been fired. That it came out. He has to justify the reason why. I mean, to give some reason why he was fired. But definitely, it's out there. It's gross misconduct and gross.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning, and your name, where you calling us from, please?
Please come with Kennedy Jimo Abolore to Vinci.
All right, please go ahead. You have a few seconds.
I probably greet my people over there, but they are just well done in Ekiti State. Wow, he's trying in Ekiti. But I have in mind that if any of his people have grievances with him, they're supposed to settle the matter. Unlike Akogun Abayomi, they must to call him what make him not to do that, not to do this, and to settle the issue.
All right.
So Almighty God must be with you.
All right.
The work, the governor,
All right.
best performances in Ekiti, make him to remain the best.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
I would like to assure the caller that before the government will fire somebody, I'm sure the person will have been given enough
Warnings.
enough warnings. The system has its own inbuilt mechanism to warn people, to caution people, especially if they are derailing. It is after such a person has have not shown the right attitude to work. They have not shown the right attitude to various corrections and caution that the person will be fired.
All right, just
firing an appointee is the last step usually.
Just a few comments from Facebook. Sedikat Shitu Lanre Oloke Shusi and Adibayo Ajayi is saying something. He says, "Please, sir, remember us at Ekiti West. We don't benefit from all what you are saying. No RIA, no water, no electricity. Well, all right. That is noted. I believe the CPS has noted.
Like
that.
I said, the RAM project is ongoing.
All right.
18 roads have been awarded.
All right.
More roads will still be awarded.
All right.
As I speak to you, just about 2 weeks ago, the State Executive Council say approved some roads, including the one leading from Itaidu to Ido to Okemesi.